Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking a scalpel to one of the most critical yet, well, frequently misunderstood areas of business, where your overhead costs actually come from.
That's right. Our mission today is a deep dive into something called activity-based costing, or ABC. And this isn't just, dry accounting. It's a whole new way to see what causes what in your business.
We're going to do this using a case study of Lily's ice cream company.
Lily's is battling a really common problem. She's struggling to price her products right using the traditional methods, and it's putting her entire business at risk.
So let's lay out the numbers. Her total overhead is $1,740,000.
A big number.
A huge number. And under her old system, traditional costing, she just divides that by the total gallons of ice cream she makes.
And she gets a single, simple number.
$1.16 per gallon. But that number,
Mm-hmm.
it's deceptive. It hides everything.
It's a black box. And that black box, that $1.16, is based on a really dangerous assumption. That costs just increase uniformly with volume. You make twice as much ice cream, your overhead doubles. Simple as that.
But what happens if your products are different? If you have simple flavors and really complex ones, where you make them in different batch sizes, then that assumption just completely...
It falls apart
Right.
drastically. And that's what we're here to show you.
Okay, so the big idea here, the real breakthrough of ABC, is moving from overhead is just a cost of doing business.
To something much more precise. Overhead is caused by specific activities. You have to look at what people are actually doing.
Let's unpack that with Lily's. To see why the old way fails, imagine she produces the exact same total volume, say 1.5 million gallons, but in 3 different ways.
Okay, method 1 is all about efficiency. She makes just 2 simple flavors, vanilla and chocolate. Big, massive batches. She barely ever stops the machines.
So setups are minimal, cleaning is rare. This is your lowest possible overhead scenario.
Right. Now, method 2. Same total volume, same 2 simple flavors. But now, she's making lots of small batches to meet weekly orders. She's stopping and starting the line constantly.
And every time she stops, she has to clean the machines, set them up again.
Exactly. The supervisor's running around managing all these changeovers. The overhead cost just skyrockets even though the total gallons are identical.
And then there's method 3.
The nightmare scenario. Now she's making 6 complex flavors, things with swirls and nuts, and she's still doing it in all those small batches.
So you've got all the changeover costs from method 2.
Plus all the complexity, special ingredients, more work for the flavor chemist, you name it. It's the highest overhead cost by far.
And the traditional system, that $1.16 per gallon, it charges all 3 methods the same. It just sees the final volume. And that's the aha moment, isn't it?
That is the moment of truth for Lily. The consequences are severe. Your simple, high-volume vanilla, it's being dramatically overcosted.
It's being forced to pay for the sins of the more complicated flavors.
It's subsidizing them. And that gingerbread cheesecake supreme, the small batch, complex one, it's dangerously undercosted.
Lily thinks she's making good money on it because the $1.16 hides the fact that it takes 4 hours to clean the machine after every tiny batch.
And this is the single greatest source of costing errors for any company with a diverse product line. If you're listening and this sounds familiar, ABC is, well, it's essential for survival.
Okay, so we've torn down the old house. Let's build the new one. ABC replaces that one-size-fits-all rate with a clear cost hierarchy. It links costs to what actually drives them.
Right. There are 4 levels to this. The first and simplest is the unit level.
These are costs that go up with every single gallon you produce.
Predictably, yes. Think about the electricity to run the churning motor or the wear and tear, the depreciation on the machine while it's running.
The driver here is simple, gallons. This is really the only part that traditional costing got right.
Exactly. But then we get to the game changer, the batch level.
This is what traditional costing completely misses.
Completely. These costs don't care about how many gallons you make. They care about how many times you start and stop a production run. The driver is the number of batches.
The setup, the cleaning.
The cleaning is a huge one. And you have to stress this point. A tiny 10-gallon test batch costs almost the exact same in batch-level overhead as a massive 10,000-gallon run.
Why is that?
Because for either one, you still have to stop everything, drain the machine, disassemble it, deep clean it to get rid of allergens, sanitize it, and then put it all back together.
The cost is tied to the event, not the volume.
Precisely. It shifts your whole way of thinking. You stop asking how much did we make and start asking how many times did we have to clean the pipes.
Okay, what's level 3?
Level 3 is product level. These are costs that exist to support an entire product line, a specific flavor, regardless of how many gallons or batches you run.
So things that are specific to that flavor existing at all.
Right. The cost driver here is usually a proxy for complexity. A really good one is the number of ingredients. Oh, okay. So I'm just picturing the flavor chemist. For vanilla, it's pretty simple. But for gingerbread cheesecake supreme.
Oh, totally. That chemist might have spent weeks on the recipe. There might be special handling rules for the ingredients, unique quality control checks.
Yeah.
All of that administrative and development time is product-level overhead.
And it exists whether you make one batch or 100.
You got it. And finally, level 4, facility level.
This is the big stuff, the cost of just keeping the lights on.
Building depreciation, security guards, property insurance, the baseline cost to have a factory at all.
And the cost driver here is?
None. And this is a really crucial point we have to come back to. These costs are not caused by making ice cream. They're caused by owning a building.
Okay, so that framework is pretty clear in theory, but implementing it sounds hard. The source material says managers often resist it.
Oh, it's very hard. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's time-consuming. It feels intrusive. You have to go ask people how they spend their time. I can imagine. Asking a supervisor to start logging their minutes against changeover setup versus routine supervision, that's probably not a popular request.
Not at all. People feel like they're being micromanaged. So let's take one of Lily's tricky costs, her factory cleaners. That's $300,000 a year. Where does that go?
You can't just throw it all in the unit pool. That would unfairly punish vanilla again.
You can't. So you have to do the work. You do time studies, you observe, and you find out, okay, some of the cleaning is just routine floor sweeping. That happens while the machines run. That's unit level.
No, most of it.
The vast majority is the intensive deep cleaning between batches. That is batch level.
So Lily's team has to make an estimate.
A defensible estimate, yes.
Yeah.
Based on their analysis, they might say, okay, 30% of that cleaning cost is unit level, 70% is batch level.
And that 70% is then only applied to the products that actually cause all those changeovers.
Now you're getting it. You're allocating based on what actually consumes the resource.
Mm-hmm.
And you do this painstaking process for the supervisors, the accountants, everyone.
So once all that work is done, Lily's single $1.74 million overhead number is broken down.
It is. It's transformed into 4 distinct cost pools.
The unit pool, driven by gallons, is now $750,000.
The batch pool, driven by changeovers, is $440,000.
The product pool, driven by complexity, is $270,000.
And that final facility pool, which isn't driven by any product activity, is $280,000.
And that visibility. That's the payoff. She can finally see what's driving her costs. She can see that the 2-hour changeovers are a huge money sink, and maybe she can find a way to make them faster.
That visibility also brings us to the final, really crucial insight from ABC. That facility level cost, the $280,000 pool, you do not allocate it to the products.
Wait, hold on. I get the theory, but if I'm Lily, my bank wants to know that my prices cover all my costs. If I don't allocate that $280,000, aren't my product costs incomplete? Aren't I risking setting my prices too low?
That is the most common fear, and it's totally understandable. But allocating those costs actually sabotages your ability to make good decisions. Well, first, it's about causality. Making another gallon of vanilla doesn't make the factory building depreciate faster. The security guard's salary doesn't go up.
The cost is independent of the activity.
Exactly. And second, your product managers can't control it.
Hmm.
The manager for the vanilla line can't decide to sell off half the building. So if you load up her product with a share of that cost, you're penalizing her for something she has zero control over.
You're distorting her product's true profitability.
You are. So the ABC solution is actually pretty elegant. You calculate the profit margin for each flavor without the facility costs. That tells you its true contribution.
And
Then, at the very end, you take the total profit from all your products and you subtract that one big lump sum of $280,000 to get your company's final net profit. It keeps the accounting clean at the product level.
Okay, that's a monumental shift. So, to sum it up, Lily went from one number, $1.16 per gallon,
To 3 specific causal rates. A rate per gallon, a rate per batch, and a rate per ingredient.
and when she applies those rates, I mean, the results must have been shocking.
Eye-opening. Remember, before, both vanilla and gingerbread cheesecake supreme were costed at $1.16 of overhead.
And under ABC.
Vanilla, which uses very few batches and simple ingredients, might see its overhead cost plummet to, say, 60 cents a gallon.
And the gingerbread.
With all its changeovers and complexity, its overhead could skyrocket to maybe $3.50 a gallon. That is the distortion she was fighting.
Wow, that changes everything. You might realize you need to double the price of some products, or maybe just stop making them altogether.
You can't make good strategic decisions with bad data. It's just not possible.
It really all comes back to causality.
It does. And that brings us to the final thought for you, the listener. It connects back to those unallocated facility costs. If a cost isn't caused by a specific product, don't allocate it.
Ask yourself this question. If you stopped making your least popular product line tomorrow, would that chunk of your facility cost, that equivalent of Lily's $280,000, actually go away?
If the answer is no, if your insurance bill is the same and the building is still there, then that cost is not driven by your product activities.
No.
It's the cost of having capacity. Recognizing that difference, that's the core of smart financial management.
A powerful reminder that a cost you can't avoid is fundamentally different from a cost driven by your actions. That is a deep dive that will definitely change how you look at a balance sheet.